What's up, people? I am back for another video today. Oh, before anything, I originally was gonna review Plane. I'm still gonna do it. I don't know when. Maybe this Sunday I'll do it. We'll see. But I guess I'll give quick thoughts on it really quick. I enjoyed it. It was what I expected. That's probably why I didn't rush to do a video, because basically a video is just gonna be that. It's decent. It's a fun little action flick. You know, if you need something to go see that's decent, it's short. You have actually legitimate bad guys for once. You know, like I like that they kept. It's simple. I'm not gonna sit here and say it moves the needle or anything. It's a simple action flick about a pilot who just lands on a crash lands on a on in a I don't remember the exact country, but they crash land in this island, and it's taken over basically by like separatists and militias, and the militias take people hostage, and him and Mike Coulter, who's a prisoner, you might know, he's mainly known as Luke Cage from the Netflix series, but they have to basically save the hostages. It's a simple action flick, so I'm gonna still review it. I just don't know when yet. I might try Sunday. We'll see for this Sunday, but today I figured, since I did Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, not Bruce Lee, I'm doing Bruce Lee now, but I'm going to be doing, since I did Jackie Chan and Jet Li, I figured why not get started on Bruce Lee, and we decided to go on the deep end and watch, in my opinion, one of his all-time great movies. Unfortunately, it sucks because I didn't even know this, but this was apparently basically his last movie, essentially. Like his last complete film, which is sad. But it's a simple film about basically a tournament. That's what I really love. I have to agree, it's definitely one of the greatest martial arts movies. Very simple plot, nothing like crazy. Basically it's like a high profile, it's almost like an in proto Mortal Kombat kind of thing. Like, yeah, it's a tournament with different masters and different levels, and just the fighting. Like, that's very much what this movie is. Like, that's basically the plot, and that's what I love about this movie, is that it's just simple. It's basically about Lee getting invited to, along with a couple other um, um, martial artists, to this tournament, and then they fight. John Saxon's one of them. And then you have Williams, probably one of the most iconic looking, just the big afro, just ever. John Saxon, who most people know him as the dad from Nightmare on Elm Street, but he did a lot of these martial arts movies. He's fucking great in it too. Just, and then I thought the villain was great. Who runs the tournament? It's just a simple kung fu movie, martial arts movie, and just the fighting was great. Bruce Lee, just probably the most iconic stuff that most people know from Bruce Lee, like his fighting mannerisms, a lot come from this movie. I mean, Game of Death too, but definitely this one. I mean, the final fight, him in the black shirt off, the fucking blade, because the villain has like a bladed weapon later on. Yeah, just the fighting all around us. It's just such a good movie. I saw it the first time when I was definitely a little kid, because I was really getting into the martial arts movies. This is around the time I was, Jet Li was starting to really get big, and I was really getting into Jackie Chan. So, and just one of these movies, and just, yeah. I'll admit I've not seen every single Bruce Lee movie, but I can't wait to dive in and see the ones I haven't seen, or see ones I haven't seen in a long time. But yeah, this is one I haven't watched in a while. I think the last time I watched it was maybe 9 years ago, with a friend, because we were just doing kung fu movies. But yeah, this one's iconic. One of Bruce Lee's best. R.I.P. to the legend, and I'm happy to finally get started on his movies. I figure, we did Jackie Chan, we did Jet Li. It makes sense to finally get to the big dog, in my opinion, the main man, Jet Li. fuck, Bruce Lee. Sorry, fucked all that up. And then tomorrow, before I get into this, tomorrow we're gonna do the final of the House of the. I hate to say it's a trilogy, and I'm hoping that Three from Hell could be a fun movie, but I don't think it didn't need a third movie. I feel like Devil's Rejects ends it, so we'll see. Maybe this could be a decent, fun one. Even if it isn't great, it can be a fun little movie. We'll see. So Three from Hell tomorrow. Wednesday, we're gonna for sure do Nighthawks. Thursday, gonna do the fine. We're gonna get since I just got done reading Hellbound. I'm fucked up. Hellbound Heart, which is written by Clive Barker, basically the original Hellraiser book. It was a book before a movie, and I listened to it the other day, and it was pretty awesome. Very interesting take because it's like very different from the original, and I'll probably go more into that when I talk about it in the movie. But yeah, I finally figured since, I've done every other horror franchise, at least the main ones, let's get started on Hellraiser. So I'm going to do Hellraiser on Thursday, and then Friday I'll figure something out. I don't know what I'm doing on Friday yet, but I'll come up with something. But let's get started on Enter the Dragon. Enter the Dragon, man, is one of the greats. 10 out of 10 martial arts movie. The fights deliver, even for its time, too. The choreography is really good. Gotta give it to everybody, man. They all deliver. Saxon's character delivers. The villain was pretty solid. So we meet Lee. See a little bit of his fighting skill at his teacher. Teaching martial arts. He's approached by Braithwaite. Basically, because Lee is asked to come to the martial arts tournament from Han's the villain of the movie, who was pretty solid. Like, yeah, you could say one note, but that's fine. For me, especially these older martial arts movies, they don't need to be anything over the top. Just kind of keep it simple. Because he wants to gather evidence of, because Braithwaite's a British intelligence agent, because he's trying to catch Han on drug trafficking and stuff like that. While this is happening, gambling addict and Vietnam veteran John Williams and Mr. Williams and trying to look for John Saxon's character Roper are invited to, who are also, and yes, so basically, like, while it's almost like a spy movie, a little bit, very little bit, because yeah, Lee's a martial artist, but he's also like trying to find like evidence of what Han's doing. So and we see Bolo, who's like this big jack dude. Just the way he kills people is pretty brutal. Like, he just like squeezes a dude to death. Like, that's like the thing about this movie. Like I said, simplicity. Because really, at the end of the day, it's more about the fights. Han tries to basically convince. Actually, before that, we see Bruce Lee's first like real fight. Because we do see him fight earlier, but it's like a training kind of thing. So we actually see him actually have a fight with O'Hara, and he just beats this dude's ass. Like, it was just embarrassing. O'Hara would get up and just bam kick. Get fucking wrecked. Just get every time. So he gets taken out. Han tries to confront Williams and tries to have Williams basically join him. We end up having after Williams basically refuses to join, Han fights Williams. Pretty good fight. Like the fights in this movie are very like good. I would also say the pacing's really good. Very also this movie's super 70s. The music, which works for me. But yeah, Han ends up killing um, Williams, which is sad. It would have been kind of cool to see Williams in the final fight, but it's fine. It works for the story. It kind of needed to establish that Han's not as a force to not blah. He's a force to not to be messed with. So I understand. You got to show your bad guy being a badass. So good fight though, and it's not like Williams went out like a bitch or anything. He had he put up his own. So and then he tries to convince Roper to join him. And basically threatens prison imprisonment if Han's a good bad guy. Like I said, one note, which is fine. Sometimes you need one note villains that I'm bad just cause. I'm a bad guy because I'm a he traffics drugs and kills people. Cool. Nothing more to it. Nothing more, nothing less. So I also really, for the time, I gotta say, I really like the cinematography. Nothing crazy, but I would say it's shot well. Like they really get some really good angles for some of these fights. Like they really put the effort in. Like this isn't just like, don't get me wrong, I'm cool with like, there are at the time you had those like low budget karate movies where I'm gonna be honest, there's like no real story, right? It's just an excuse to get them fighting. I think this movie is more than that. Like don't get me wrong, they definitely have the fights, but they still do try to tell a really good story. But I like the characters. The characters are simple. Roper's a solid character. I think John Saxon's great. It is kind of weird seeing him do like martial arts when I'm like, because I mainly know him as a Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, I had seen him because I had seen this movie before, but I kind of forgot. I didn't put two and two together at that time that, oh, this is the dude from Nightmare on Elm Street. He's that. So Lee tries to sneak out to tell Braithwaite the information, ends up getting captured after trying to fight guards off, but yeah, he ends up getting captured. And then Han tries to force Roper to kill Lee, but he refuses. So Roper fights Bolo, and pretty good fight. Bolo's a pretty he's just big, jacked guy, and they set the setting with him earlier. He breaks a dude's back. So yeah, he has a pretty good fight with Roper, but then while this is going on, they end up freeing some of the people, because in the hidden room there's people in prison, so they free them. We get basically a big giant fight. We just see basically Bruce Lee just fucking motherfuckers up. Great, just giant fight, just everybody going at it. Yeah, it was great. And then Lee confronts Han. Pretty good fight with them. Han has a claw hand, claws Bruce Lee. That's where we get the iconic shot of him fighting, and he has the fucking scratches on him. So pretty awesome final fight, and he ends up beating Han. And then him and Roper have a moment of respect. Film ends. These films kind of end abruptly. They win the fight and the film ends. It's nothing really much after that. But yeah, awesome movie. It's very, like I said, the simplicity of it. There is a story. Lee the moments where he actually has to try to look for clues and stuff. I like those moments in the movie too. Yeah, it's a martial arts movie, but they those moments where he's trying to find stuff on Han is really well done. It is almost a little, that's why I say a little bit of a spy movie, because he has to basically, he's going kind of undercover, But in general, the fights are great. I love Roper. John Saxon does them great. I would have liked to have seen Williams in the final fight, but it was fine. You had to show Han being an awesome villain, and that he's worthy, especially because he's going against Bruce. So you got to act like he has somewhat of a chance, right? So yeah, awesome movie. I definitely recommend it. Even if you don't like martial arts, I just feel like people need to see the fucking, I'm gonna say it, art that Bruce Lee, puts into his choreography and his fights and his work in general in these movies. So I feel like people need to see it. Even if you're not the biggest martial arts movie fan, you know, but I just feel like people need to see, because the kind of person Bruce Lee was, and just the work ethic and everything he put into it, and not just this movie, but like just in general, that I feel like well, especially this one, because this one to me, I could agree, if we're going on an objective level, might be the best kung fu movie or martial arts movie of all time. I might have to agree with that. I might have to agree with that. Granted, is it my favorite? I think that could be a different question. That'll probably be a different answer for me. But I have to objectively, I might have to agree. This movie is the movie that a lot of martial arts movies try to be after, for sure. You know? So, I definitely feel like, I'm not saying this was the one that started it, but this is definitely the one that put them on the map, for sure. So yeah, I definitely feel like you gotta have to watch this movie just for what it did to cinema and just the kind of person Bruce Lee is. I just feel like people need to see what he did and brought, in these movies. So heavily recommend. Definitely a 10 out of 10 martial arts movie. The great characters, simple plot. Obviously there's there's a little plot of him trying to get some intel about Han's drug trafficking and stuff and crimes, but largely, yeah, it's just a martial arts movie and about a tournament, like very just basic with a one other subplot, but not convoluted. I definitely recommend this movie. So cannot wait. My next Bruce Lee movie I am doing is Game of Death. That one has been a long time, probably since I was a child. So that one I cannot wait to dive back into. So that'll be maybe next Monday. We'll see. But other than that, I'm gonna cheers out and talk to y'all later. But as usual, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Fuck Joe Biden. Peace.